Solving equations with fractions. Made easy. Example number 1, we want to go ahead and solve this problem right here. So whenever we're dealing with problems that look like this, what we're going to be using is the keep, change, flip method, or KCF. All we basically do is we keep the first number, or in this case, it's x. We're going to write that down. Then we change the sign from division to multiplication. And what I'm going to do, instead of writing an X for multiplication, I'm going to put a green dot right here, but that's a multiplication sign, so that way it doesn't look like there's two X's right next to each other. And then with the third number, what we do is we flip it. It's a fraction, so now the denominator, which is 3, is going to be the numerator. And the numerator, which is 2, is going to be the new denominator. And then that is still going to be equal to 4 over 5. From here, we're going to go ahead and multiply. So x times 3 is going to be 3x over 2. Whenever you're going to be multiplying numbers like this, basically you just multiply the numerators together and the denominators together. In this case, the denominator of x is just 1. And that is going to be equal to 4 over 5. Now, this problem is basically a proportion problem, and if you need help solving proportions, click on this link. I made a video on it. To solve proportions, what we do is we do the cross product, or basically just multiply the diagonal numbers together. So the first diagonal here is 3x, and then we're going to multiply that times 5. So it's going to be 3x times 5 is 15x, and that is going to be equal to the other cross product here, which is the 2 and the 4. So we multiply those. 2 times 4, that's going to give us 8. And now all we got to do is just get x by itself. And we do that by dividing by 15 to both sides. So now we have x is equal to 8 over 15. Since we can't simplify any further, this is going to be our final answer. Example number 2, we want to solve this problem right here. We're going to be using the same exact method as before, keep, change, flip. So the first number here, we keep it. It's going to be 8 over 9. We change the division sign into a multiplication sign, and I'm going to go ahead and use the green dot again. And then for this third number, we're going to flip it. However, when you're looking at it, you can see it's just an x, but this we can also write it as a fraction because x is divided by 1. So when we flip it, what we're going to have is 1 in the numerator and x as our denominator. And that is going to be equal to 4 over 3. From here, we solve as normal. Looking at the left-hand side, we're going to multiply 8 times 1, because you just multiply the numerators together. That's going to give us 8. And then you multiply the denominators together, which is 9 times x. And that's going to give us 9x. And that's going to be equal to 4 over 3. From here, we have a simple proportion problem. So what we're going to do is the cross product. You're going to multiply those diagonal numbers together. So 3 times 8, that gives us 24. That's going to be equal to the other cross product, which is 4 times 9x. That's going to be 36x. From here, what we want to do is get x by itself. So we have to divide by 36, divide by 36. And now what we have is 24 over 36 is equal to x. Now we check if we can simplify. In this case, we can. We can actually factor out 12 from both of those numbers. So factoring out a 12 from 24, we'll have 2 left. And then 12 from 36, we'll have 3 left over. That is going to be equal to x. Since we can't simplify any further, this is going to be our final answer. Example number 3, we want to solve this problem right here. So we're going to be doing the keep, change, flip method again. the first fraction here, we keep it. So it's going to be 4 over 5. We change the division sign into a multiplication sign. And I'm going to go ahead and put a green dot again to represent that. And then we flip the second number here. So 2 over x is going to become x over 2. And that's going to be equal to 6 over 5. Let's simplify the left-hand side by doing the multiplication. So we multiply the numerators together, which is 4 times x, which gives us 4x. And then we multiply the denominators together, 5 times 2, which is going to give us 10. And that's going to be equal to 6 over 5. From here, we're going to go ahead and do the cross product. So we're going to multiply these diagonal numbers right here. 4x times 5 is going to give us 20x, and that is going to be equal to this cross product, 6 times 10, which is going to be 60. From here, we want to solve for x, so we're going to divide by 20, like that. And what we're going to have going up here is x is equal to 60 over 20, and we know that 20 can go into both of these numbers, so therefore when we simplify this, we're going to have x is equal to 3, and that's going to be our final answer.